You can track your resources with vibrant animations in Owlbear Rodeo. With trackers, here's how. We'll show you how to add a preset tracker, add a custom tracker, change a tracker's settings, make a multi-tracker, and duplicate or delete a tracker. Before you start, you'll need to open a room in your Owlbear Rodeo account, and you'll need to install and enable the trackers extension in that room. Trackers' animated icons and sound effects add improved visibility and dramatic flair to what can otherwise be a rather mundane task. It also helps the GM track game-wide resources like countdowns, or any escalating meta-currencies like fear, doom, or malice. Each player and the GM sets up their own trackers, whose settings are recorded in their browser's local storage. Trackers can also be set up differently for each room in Owlbear Rodeo. Firstly, let's add a tracker from the preset options. When you click on the trackers action in the top left corner of your screen for the first time, it opens a popover where you see the preset options. These are some typical resources that are tracked in well-known tabletop role-playing games, and you can add any of these presets to your own list of trackers by selecting one of them. The popover shows you its resources, and you can immediately interact with them. Each style of tracker has its own options for changing the current value, which we'll see in detail in the next section of this video when we make a custom tracker. By default, these trackers are visible to everyone who's in your room in a carousel view at the foot of that popover. You can either click left and right to see each player's first 4 trackers, or you can click on that summary to bring up a scrollable list of all the other players' resources. Also, whenever you change one of your trackers, each of the other players gets a dynamic confirmation of that change in the lower right corner of their screen. Likewise, when they make changes, you get that same confirmation pop up on your screen. This sharing of resource status helps to keep everyone updated and engaged in the changing fortunes of your game. As soon as you have added at least one tracker, you can adjust your own audio level for all trackers by clicking on the cog button under your trackers and then changing the sound effects volume slider and clicking Done to confirm. If you want to add another preset, you can click on the Add button at the foot of the action popover, and you'll see the list of available options reappear. If you'd really like to have a private tracker that is not shown to other players and whose changes are not broadcast to them, we'll look at how to edit an existing tracker in the third section of this video. Next, let's make a custom tracker. Pressing the Add button again, we see the Presets tab again and can select the Custom tab next to it. In here, you can type a name for this tracker, choose which icon you want it to have from the 36 choices available from within these 4 theme tabs: symbols, weapons, money, and magic. Then you can choose whether it displays individual icons in a group, or a fill bar, or even a counter. The icons and the fill bar variants both have current and maximum values that you set, or you can choose a counter that can have a positive or negative value. Once you've chosen your settings, click on Add to see it appear under any prior trackers that you chose. For groups of individual icons, you can click on any one of them to toggle it, and you can also change multiple icons at once because adjacent icons will follow suit when you click the middle of a range of identical icons. Because each icon is shown separately, this is ideal for relatively small numbers of valuable, powerful resources. Larger pools of resource become sprawling in this style of display, so they're better left to the fill bars or counters. For fill bar trackers, you can place your cursor over the bar until you see it change to a left-right arrow, then drag the value to increase or decrease. Alternatively, you can select the number in the middle of the bar and replace it with a new value, pressing the Enter button on your keyboard to confirm the change. You can also perform inline maths on it, for example, taking the current value and adding 2, and again confirming with the Enter button. When the value is selected in the middle of the bar, the up or down cursor arrows on your keyboard will increase or decrease the value by 1, and holding Shift plus the up or down arrows will increase or decrease the value by 10. And finally, counters have dedicated +1 and -1 buttons and +5 and -5 buttons, and you can also select the value in the center to replace it or to perform inline maths. And then use the up and down cursor arrows for 1 step at a time, or hold the Shift key with them for 10 steps at a time. Next, let's look at editing an existing tracker. You may have already noticed that in the top right corner of each tracker there is a 3-dot button which brings up the Edit Tracker page. In here, you can alter any of the parameters of that existing tracker in an interface that is very similar to making a custom tracker, and when you click the Done button, you see the new presentation of that tracker immediately. However, there is also a new eye icon at the top, which can toggle this tracker between its default visible state and its hidden state, where it appears for you alone. Let's try that now. After you click on Done, you can see that the hidden tracker now has a crossed-through eye icon that indicates that it's private to you. The other players have now lost visibility of that tracker in their summary section of the trackers popover. The hidden tracker is also absent from the detailed scroll list. Likewise, when you make any change to the hidden tracker, it is not broadcast to the others in your room, and they do not see any confirmation of that change in the lower right corner of their screen. Next, let's make a multi-tracker. If you have lots of trackers and want to organize them into groups, or are tracking resources for more than one player character, you might like to create a multi-tracker that groups together multiple trackers under a single title. Returning to the Edit Tracker page and clicking on its three-dot button in the top right corner, you see the option to Convert to Multi-Tracker. Selecting this option will do several things at once. First, it will give this new multi-tracker a group name, which could be the name of the character it represents, or a specific resource container like a backpack or a rations crate. The original tracker is duplicated in a second page, which can be seen when you scroll to the foot of this Edit Tracker page, and both these copies are now considered to be sub-trackers of this new multi-tracker. Selecting that second page will show the duplicated values in the new sub-tracker, but we can quickly change any and all of them to represent the second resource that we want in this group. If 2 resources is everything you need to track, then you could click Done and see how that is presented. However, you can add extra sub-trackers to this group because when you're in the Edit Tracker page of a multi-tracker, the three-dot button gives additional options and we can choose Add Sub-Tracker. When that option is selected, the currently shown sub-tracker is duplicated as the last page in this group, which is helpful if you want to carry some existing settings forward into that new sub-tracker so that you don't need to change every parameter in it. Returning to the three-dot button, we also have the option to delete the currently shown sub-tracker, or we can convert to tracker again and discard all sub-trackers except the original. Note that when you do this, you delete all of the other sub-trackers with no undo option, and you may also need to rename the single tracker that is left behind. Finally, let's look at how to duplicate or delete a tracker. When you open the tracker page and click on the three-dot button, you can choose to duplicate it, which copies all of its settings into a completely separate instance and copies its name too. So, to distinguish between 2 identical trackers, you probably want to change the cloned copy's name. Similarly, when you return to the Edit Tracker page and select the three-dot button, you have the option to delete this tracker, which will remove it permanently from your browser. Remember that the trackers are stored in your browser's local storage, so if you or any of your installed apps empty the browser cache, then you will also delete them. Note that these 2 functions work for normal trackers and for multi-trackers alike. We've looked at how to add a preset tracker or a custom tracker, how to change a tracker's settings, how to make a multi-tracker, and how to duplicate or delete a tracker, so you are now equipped to keep track of all your resources as a game master or as a player. To learn more about Owlbear Rodeo, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or click another video to keep watching.